Hello and welcome to another Writerly Witterings. And I've forgotten something. And I'm back. Now, I've just come back from a splendid 2 trips with Smithsonian Journeys, which is a division of Smithsonian Museum, and basically I'm the expert talking about crime writing and crime writers. The trip is called The Mystery Lovers England, and there's an apostrophe in there, which is an important apostrophe. And one of the things we do is we travel all over the country, starting in Torquay, talking about Agatha Christie, going on to Dartmoor, talking about Sherlock Holmes, and basically looking at different parts of the country, what inspires writers, all the way from Dick Francis, P.D. James, Dorothy L. Sayers, G.K. Chesterton, and what inspires them about locations, talking about characters, talking about all sorts of things. But one thing that's nice always is when I get to Oxford with our tours and I talk to them about her brief life in Blackwell's. Blackwell's is a fantastic store. I really love it. It's always fun going in there. It always cost me a fortune. I'm looking currently at 5 books I bought there when I was there last week. And there's a 6th book, which is this. It says on the spine, Maigret and the Young Girl and Danger Ahead by Simenon, which is wonderful. I like Georges Simenon. I've always enjoyed reading his books. They're very interesting. I was first introduced to them by an English teacher when I was at school. But this is a very special version of his book because this has another label on the front here which says Blackwell's. It says Blackwell's Bookshop, Broad Street, Oxford, which is fine. But what it used to come with, or what it came with when it was new, was this, which is a little thing that reads Blanks. Blackwell's unique notebooks made from old book covers by About Blanks Limited. And when I say it's a notebook, what I mean is it's a notebook. Isn't that just brilliant? Simple idea. You take an old notebook that's the cover still works, but actually it doesn't work very well because the interior has been wrecked, and you use it to repackage a new notebook. I think it's wonderful. I've only bought the one. They're all the same price, £17 odd, so I bought the one that was about the thickest. You can, if you want, get whole volume sets. So there was one there that was 19 volumes. That would be a lifetime's working and journaling, wouldn't it? But I thought I just had to bring this to your attention. So here it is, the wonderful Blackwell's notebook. They have all types. They have Gollancz type covers. They have huge variety, in fact. The only thing I discovered was on opening this that it's rather like an ancient book. The pages weren't quite separated at the top, as you can see. You can also see that, just open that one up, I haven't actually done a huge amount of testing on it yet. I was assured by the chap in the shop, who was a thoroughly reliable seeming fellow, that it was the sort of paper that would be very happy to receive fountain pen ink. Whoops. It would help when you make sure first that you've actually got ink coming out of your pen. This is KWZ's Baltic Memories. Now the thing about one of these pens is they really do gush. So let's see what it looks like. Well, I have to admit that is pretty staggering actually. That's astonishingly good. If I use a slightly different pen, now there's a thing. Well, I wasn't expecting that, but there you go. So this is a Pilot Metropolitan. Which I hadn't checked, and I think I'm going to go off and do some cleaning up now. Well, I have to admit, I wasn't expecting to prove things that successfully, but be that as it may, having just freshly cleaned up this pen and myself a little bit, let's just see. You can tell that where the main blot came through, it came through big time, running straight up that nice little glued seam there. But the cover bit is obviously enormously successful at protecting against blots. And the main paper as well, where there's big ink blots, doesn't really affect it much. There is some ghosting here, but that's where I was writing with very dark ink. Mostly with the writer's blood. It did come through a little bit, but not enough to bother me. It's not absolutely perfect paper. It's not as good as William Hanna. But having said that, it has a charm all of its own. For most fountain pens, such as a Pilot Metropolitan, it's not going to give an issue. And it would look good on a bookshelf. Not many notebooks you can say that about. I will say this is the second accident I've had with a fountain pen just recently. I had the same thing happen with my Conway Stewart when I was on the Smithsonian tour. This one here, which burped a huge amount of its ink straight out and into the cap. And I don't know what caused it. And now the Pilot Metropolitan has done the same thing. I can only assume that in the space of 2 long journeys on trains and coaches, that they both suffered a bit and burped. This can happen when you have an ink reservoir and you get an air bubble inside it. The air can expand with the change in temperature and push a load of ink out. But it can't happen with one of these Pinedas, and that's one of the things I really, really love about this pen. It is absolutely foolproof, as well as being rock hard, and an absolute joy to write with. Anyway, that is my view of the Blackwell's Bookshop notebook. Definitely perfect for pencils and biros, I would think. and actually works very well with a fountain pen. And what a lovely thing to look at. That's all for this week, folks. It's only a quick, short one because I've got tons on. But don't forget, if you like it and subscribe and hit the bell and all those other good things. And I will be back very soon, next week, talking all about blotters. I was going to talk about them today, but the recording went horribly wrong, and that's why I've just recorded something totally separate just for you. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.